Hey, this is Ryan Crandall of Better Balance and Strength for Seniors. Today is May 7th, 2016. First video in about 6 months. And we're going to get started. Come on down. Now make sure that your space is safe and clear and free from anything you could trip on, stairs, and things like that. First thing we're going to do is stand with our feet about shoulder width apart. And if you need to have a counter nearby, if your balance is pretty compromised, feel free to have a counter or a wall nearby, okay? So we're going to just look at our toes, and I want you to lift and spread your toes a couple times and just kind of create a nice broad base of contact with the ground. And then I want you to kind of bend and straighten your knees a couple times. And you can do this fast or slow just to kind of wake things up. Just a little bouncy, because we don't want to be overly stiff here. If we're too stiff, we're more of a walrus. So slight bend on the knees, and we're going to just progress into our lateral shifting of the hips here. And this can be confused with the hip bump, which looks like this. We're keeping our hips level. And think of a line between your pelvis and your collarbone, and you're keeping that parallel, and you're not tilting it, okay? And we're just going to play with that for a bit. And I want you to focus on the pressure through the bottom of the feet now as it changes from one foot to the other. And you can feel that progression as one leg gets light, this leg gets light, this leg gets heavy, and then you switch. And over time, see how far you can progress. And then come back to center. And let's start weight shifting forward and backward. I'm going to show you from the side. So working through the ankle here. So we're not doing this. That's hinging to the hips. We're not bending the knee a lot. I call this bobbing for apples. We're not bobbing for apples today. We're shifting through the ankle strategy here. I can feel my weight progress from my heel through the arch to the toes. The toes will start to claw as you go forward and back. Come back to the front view. Everything else is relaxed. We're not overly stiff. Again, slight bend in the knees. It doesn't really change, though, as you move. Okay, combining those two planes, we're going to go in a circle now and circle through the ankle joint, and you want to feel the edges of the ground here, if you will. And go slow. People like to go fast and get it over with, but I want you to go slow and control it. Go in the other direction now. Beautiful day here in the East Mountains. A little chilly, but it's New Mexico. You never know what you're gonna get. Cool. Okay, let's go into a stride stance here. So your stride stance can be anything. It can be this, it can be this, it can be this, it can be this. All right? We're not tandem yet, stride stance. So kind of like the stance you would take when you walk. All right? And what we're going to do, slight bend in the knees, get a little bouncy going. We're going to shift anterior and posterior, forward and back. And again, we're shifting through the ankles. There's going to be some bend in the knees, but what I'm trying to not do is change the vertical height of my body. So I'm not going down and going up. I'm going forward and backward with very little change in the height of my body as I move. And I'm going to start to slow it down here. And as you're doing this, you can add some arm movement. As soon as you go forward, you can imagine that you're pushing. And as you're going back, you can imagine that you're pulling. If the arms complicate it for you, you don't have to add the arms. I'm just doing this for effect. You can imagine that I don't have arms. I'll do a few more here. As I'm pushing and pulling or shifting, I imagine my weight getting light on one leg. So as I'm coming back, my front leg actually has no weight on it. Look at that. Okay. Now, that may not be the case for you, but practice. And over time, things will change. Let's switch leg. Same thing other side. All right. You may feel more comfortable with one leg or the other, and that's why they have boxers. Some are southpaw, some are orthodox. So, all right, same thing. Start with the shifting. Again, try to keep the height of the head about the same, no matter where you are in the range of motion that you're working in. And feel free to add the arms if you want. I almost imagine I'm pushing something away from me as I'm going forward, and I'm pulling something back as I go back. And again, almost to the point where you get far enough forward that almost all your weight is on that front leg. Like right now, I'm right there. And as I go back, same thing. Front leg gets light, okay? A couple more. I'm going to take my arms out of the equation. The cool thing about these is that you can practice these anywhere. I'm going to go back to the shoulder width position. You can be waiting in line at the grocery store and just do some weight shifting in any plane of motion. Okay. All right, let's go narrow. Real close together. So some people's knees will touch before their feet, and that's all right. All right. So let's straighten up. Let's stiffen the knees, lock them straight, and allow them to relax now. Okay, do it again. Straighten and let them relax. Okay? Now with the knees slightly bent, and keep them slightly bent, we're going to progress forward and backward here. We're just going to shift forward and shift back. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the middle ground here where I'm not shifted forward or back. I'm kind of in the center. And I'm just going to stand, and I'm going to turn my head as far as I can to the left. And I'm going to try to do this without any shoulder rotation at first. So you get relative neck motion, because I could just do this and think, oh, I'm turning my head, when I'm really not. Don't be a cheetah. You know what I'm saying? Don't be a cheater. Now, let's add shoulder turn with that. And with the shoulders turning, you're also getting motion through your spine, into your hip a little bit. All the way down to the ankle, subtalar joint, mid-tarsal joint in the foot. Cool stuff. One more. Okay, now I want you to keep your eyes on the screen. Keep your eyeballs fixated on the screen or whatever you're looking at, and turn your head left and right. This is called gaze, G-A-Z-E, gaze stabilization. Some people have trouble doing this. And this is part of your VOR, your vestibular ocular reflex. Very important reflex. Now, keep your eyes on there. Actually, yeah, keep your eyes on there and let's go head up and head down. We're going a little out of order. That's a reach. So with the gaze stabilization, your neck motion would be less than if your eyes lead. So now, look at the ground and look at the ceiling. You're going to actually get more motion usually this way. Just a little neck mobility here. Okay, come back to center. Now, if you feel safe, close the eyes. And if your eyes are closed, you're going to notice that your body is going to wobble a little bit more. Vision is such a huge part of our balance. When we take vision away, the other two systems are the only systems available. All the sensors in your body, the proprioceptors in the skin, the joints, the ligaments, tendon, muscle, skin, and the inner ear, the vestibular organs, which detect angular acceleration and deceleration. But your eyes have so much input. Okay, go ahead and open the eyes. Let's move into the more mobility stuff. Let's open the stance about shoulder width, okay? Let's take the hands behind the back if you can. And I want you to pull the shoulder blades back and pull them down now. And let's just do a couple more neck mobilizations here. Just turning that head left and right. And then up and down. And again, keep the shoulders down and back if you can. So it just feels a little different now. And now go ear to shoulder, cheekbone to sky. And then a couple circles. Big circles. Reverse. Try to avoid any grinding or crunching. And then back to center. Open the arms by the sides. Now, this is a complicated one. I want you to turn your arms in and round your upper back forward like you're slouching. And then take your arms and turn them out. And then pull your shoulders back and exaggerate this extension through the upper back. Let's do a few more. Turn in. I call this twist in, twist on, and twist off. From the side. One more. Good. And then take the shoulders. Let's do some shoulder circles. Rolls. And reverse. And back to center. Okay, let's take the hands, palm up, elbows slightly bent, and then turn them palm down and out as far as you can. So palm up. So we're just doing a little pronation, supination here. Just keep everything mobile in the body. Use it or lose it. Take the hands and form a fist as tight as you can, and then open the fingers as wide. ET fingers. Tight, open. One more. Tight, and open now. Just thumb to fingers, each one independently. You do whatever one you want to do, but get them all twice. All right? And make sure you open them as wide as you can. Good. Let's bring the hands together. A little mobilization of the ulnar nerve here, just side to side a few times. All right, now just 6-7 minutes ago we were doing the weight shifting where the hips were level, the collarbone was level. Now we're going to do the hip bump, which may at first look the same, but it's definitely not. You're going to get more of a stretch in the glutes on the side. Gluteus medius, minimus, all that good stuff. Add an arm over the top, and then you're going to layer in more. Now, if your arm doesn't go over the head, don't worry about it. Just do what you can, maybe like this. Both arms if you want. And then let's take the hands to the hips, and I want a big spiral here. Hips go forward, right, back, left, forward. reverse. And then back to center. Now we're going to just turn the hips, rotating about the pelvis. If you want to release the opposite leg and pivot on it, you can do that too. Good. Working our way down into the knees here. Bend the knees, hands on the thighs, and let's go together and apart here. Together and apart. You're going to notice as you go in, your foot pronates more, and as you go out, your foot supinates more. Now let's go in a circle. Pronate is not a bad word. Don't let anyone tell you that you're a pronator and that's bad. It's not true. Go in the other direction. Pronation's part of life. Good. And let's come back to center here, and we're going to do our forward fold. I'm going to show you from the side. Okay? So don't worry about your arms. Worry about your hips. And I want your butt to go back, and think of your belly button going through your thighs, down towards the ground, and then back up again. We're just going to pulse through that. So this is a nice mobilizer of the hamstring and the glutes, lower back. Again, don't worry about your hands right now. Exhale down, inhale up. If you've had any posterior hip replacements, be wary of this one. If your doctor said don't go below 90 degrees, don't go below 90 degrees. Now at the bottom here, I'm going to put my hands on my thighs, and I'm just going to rotate side to side. So my pelvis, I'm going to show you from the front. My shin bones are moving laterally. They're rotating. And then come back up nice and tall. Reach up to the sky if you can. Let's do a few hip bumps here. Try a couple circles. Tracing a circle on the ceiling. And reverse. And then relax the arms down. Thank you very much. This is Ryan Crandall of Better Balance and Strength for Seniors. We'll be back for more. We may be filming in Hawaii. Cheers.